And we're back with the Root Gaming Invitational Hearthstone Tournament. Here, as you were probably able to see during the break, is still Monk. How are you doing, Monk?
I'm doing great. I'm sure you guys saw me for like 10 minutes on the camera, just looking around awkwardly, trying to like twiddle my thumbs and be like, hey guys, I'm on camera the whole time.
Yeah, you're like in a cage, pretty much.
Yeah. And I notice I'm looking fairly blue.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we try to make you as much like God as possible, you know?
I see. So next match is going to be Era versus RDU. They're two players that have like vastly different histories. On one end, we have Era, who's like kind of disappeared off the scene, off the face of the planet almost for the past few months. On the other hand, we had RDU, pretty much one of the most successful players of last year, but he kind of like fell off a bit when GVG came out and a little bit right before GVG came out. It's been a while since RDU has really had like a really top tournament win.
Yeah, it has been a while indeed. So, yeah, I mean, in the polls, RDU definitely favored by like 80% of people. But Era's pretty good, and he's rank 8 right now on an A. So I think anything could happen. It could go either way. So we're pretty much ready to start. Are we, Bob? Yeah. So we
Yeah,
Gucci.
I think I'm ready. I'm very excited. I'm pumped.
Okay.
I'm Gucci. We can
So
tell
we're
the
letting
players to start. Should we just tell them to go right now?
Yeah. Ready whenever you guys are. Go, go, go. Everyone's excited. Type in they're excited. There's like 5 I'm excited people. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Monk
I'm
is
excited as-
excited. This is insane, dude. Out
Yeah,
of the charts.
Ara's excited. RDU's excited. I think RDU, more than anyone's, really hungry for a victory right now, or at least like a top finish. Because RDU, when he first popped out in the scene, he was like winning literally like 50% of tournaments. But for like the last like 3 or 4 months, RDU in every tournament he's entered, he's probably like exited in the first round the majority of the time. So like just a very wide contrast in terms of results lately.
Yeah. And we are entering the game right now. Era looks to be playing a Demon Lock that you were talking about before, but it's going to be Warlock against Warlock. Void Walker coming down on turn 1 by Era. So this could be Sue in the eyes of RDU.
Yep, we're still getting into the game right now.
Yeah. RDU looks to be playing a more standard handlock. So what do you think is favored here, handlock or demon lock, and why?
I think it really depends on whether giants are drawn from the handlock player and whether the BGHs are drawn from Era. Generally, like I feel like handlock is overall a stronger class, or a stronger deck rather, because they're the same class. But it's more vulnerable to big swings from BGHs.
Yeah. I'm surprised he didn't coin out a Void Color here. Is the Jaraxxus good or bad to have on board here?
I think against most classes it's good to have on board, but against handlock, which just kind of really shrugs off the 3 attack of the Jaraxxus, it's probably not what you want. You probably want to save that Jaraxxus for to actually play to turn your hero into a Jaraxxus. So I think right now having Jaraxxus in your hand is more of a liability than a benefit.
Yeah, so he definitely wants to draw into a Mal'Ganis or something else. Mal'Ganis should be pretty good if you can get it. Mistress of Pain, this is weird. Have you ever seen a Mistress of Pain?
Yeah,
Ever.
I have, and mostly from darn, my client's bugged again. But yeah, I have, but mostly from Dark Wanix. Dark Wanix is a player that has been playing Demon Lock a lot, and he uses this Mistress of Pain as kind of like something to counter against aggression, to heal up as well, but also in combination with Demon Heart, in order to kind of like lock out some types of aggro decks completely. Like if you get a Demon Hearted Mistress of Pain, and you attack, you pretty much heal like 6 damage, and you have a really strong minion on the board. So that if you can somehow get up that 7 mana combo, you pretty much win the game against aggressive decks.
Yeah. You know what I do run in my own demon lock that everyone hates me for? It's the what is it called? The 0 mana thing. Kills a demon, restores 5 health.
Sacrificial
Pact, yeah. I really don't get why it's all that bad. Like, I think it's pretty good. You can use it with Void Caller, you know? But more than that, it's just a nice way to stabilize after. Well, I run Molten Giants. I don't know. I don't know what. Do most demon locks run Molten Giants? I would guess so.
Probably not, actually, I'd say. The majority of demon locks I've seen don't, just because they're trying to fit in all these like all these early game cards such as Nubian Eggs, Mistress of Pain. Like, you kind of run out of room for the big Molten Giants.
Fair enough. I do have to run Implosion just for the Sacrificial Pact almost. So I don't know. Maybe it's not the best. Silence on the Sylvanas seems like a sensible option here.
So many possibilities.
Yep.
Is that the play? And then what?
Yeah, there's like a lot of low value cards in Ara's hand right now. Nothing really great to play. I think the Shadow Flame in Ara's hand is a little bugged. I currently see it as a 0 mana spell, which is obviously not correct.
Jiraxxus.
Oh, Jiraxxus comes out. Again, I was saying, like, Jiraxxus is probably not what you want to see come out, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, Jiraxxus is still not gonna die to anything like Shadow Flame or anything like that, so I guess at least it's, you know, a sticky minion alongside with the Nerubian Eggs, so he's alright on that regard. It's gonna be pretty hard to clear this board.
There's certainly a lot of sticky minions on this board right now. 2 Nerubian Eggs. The Mistress of Pain is like kind of sticky for a 2 mana minion, and of course the 315.
Yeah. 315 is pretty much 420.
315 is 420. That's good logic.
I mean, like, if you were by multipliers, you know, like, if you add 5 HP per damage, the next on the scale would be 420, right? Like 1 5, 210, 315.
Yeah,
Well,
fair
you gotta
enough.
fill in the blank.
Yeah, 420.
Yeah, 420.
525. Just proof that I can do math.
Yeah, solid proof.
Yeah, Era can actually use this Shadow Flame to set off the bombs in order to maybe even set off his own Nerubian Eggs. That would be a pretty cool play.
Yeah, you might be behind again. Because, yeah, the board has been cleared. There's still 1 Nerubian Egg. And Jiraxxus, the Lord of the Burning Legion.
I don't know what's up today with my Spectator mode. Like, I keep getting cut off, and I keep having to rejoin.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's kind of annoying.
Luckily for you, I'm here. And they don't
You'll
call me
be my
the
rock.
Lord of the Burning Legion for no reason, dude. So we good.
Are you Jiraxxus?
Pretty much.
I see. All right. So
I'm told that
one-
Rob from production knows a lot about World of Warcraft, and apparently Jiraxxus is not that badass. Can you confirm, Rob? Jiraxxus is not that badass.
Yeah, I hear that too. Like from the lore threads, when you have to like rate the legendaries in terms of like how strong they are in game, I feel like Jiraxxus like is kind of on the lower end. And a lot of people just say like I haven't personally played WoW, but a lot of people say like Jiraxxus is just some random demon that some guy summons and not like a huge lore character.
Yeah. So he's not really the Lord of the Burning Legion. Like, he's just self-proclaimed Lord of the Burning Legion. Really, he's just kind of meh.
Yeah, he's just kind of like whatever.
Yeah.
He's like that guy on the playground who like thinks he's like the best and everything, but
yeah.
in reality, he just wants to make everyone think he's cool because like he has some issues, I guess.
That is Jiraxxus in a nutshell. Now, this entire board could get cleared by Shadow Flame, despite the presence of the powerful Lothep. But that's not going to be the play that RDU chooses to go for. Or is it? Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Yeah, Shadow Flame, I think, even though it's 9 mana, it's just so much value here. Like, you clear pretty much everything. It's hard to, like, give that up, to be honest.
Yeah, and I like instinctively, I would have probably killed the Jiraxis. But I like going for the... What is that thing called? Void Color?
Yeah, Void Collar. I think right now, like, RDU is deciding whether to kill the Jiraxis or the Void Collar. Like,
You're
it's
behind
basically,
already. You're behind again. He killed the Void
God.
Collar. He killed the Void Collar, and that forced the Doomsguard down on the board, which was in turn Shadow Flame. So you might have to relog again. But
Yeah, this is annoying. Maybe in the future, we can do like a share screen so I can directly see your game.
yeah, we could try that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So we see a Sylvanas and a Lord Jiraxis in the board against RDU's. I would say like it's slightly less threatening board, but RDU definitely has the card quality going for him. He has just so many cards that will deeply impact the board. Once he gets rid of the Sylvanas, the Ragnaros come down, and I just don't see I don't see any way that Era has to answer this Ragnaros right now. His deck, on average, is going to be filled with less dense minions, such as the Haunted Creeper, and as we saw, he had the Nerubian eggs before, so just overall less impactful cards.
Yeah, and just the way we were talking about Jiraxis earlier, he seems like a pretty dense person, you know? Like
Are you saying he's like buff, or are you saying that he's like a dumb guy? Like
he's dense, dude. Like, he's not the Lord of the Burning Legion whatsoever, and he thinks he is. And, you know, it's just kind of awkward when he hangs out with his friends.
the question is, does he actually have friends?
Probably not. That's kind of sad, dude. And there's Big Game Hunter, top deck. So, probably
Top
gonna see
decking
it
and
this
wrecking.
game.
I've got the beast in my sight.
Mr. Mountain Giant is gonna go down the hill, down the mountain, into the ethers. And that's gonna be the play for Era's turn.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, guys. Like, I keep getting kicked out of the game.
It's Gucci, dude. Ragnaros, the
I
Fire Lord. This guy
actually
is
don't
the
see
Fire
Era online right now.
Hmm?
I actually don't see Era online right now, which probably is bad.
That is probably not good, but I am still in the game, so.
All right,
Try your
cool.
best
So
to
we have
keep her alive.
Ragnaros on the board. Is there going to be a Big Game Hunter to answer it?
There is not going to be a Big Game Hunter to answer it. Shadow Flame, however, combined with... Wow, this was... Wow, that was very fast play, very fast thinking by Era there. Somehow manages to clear the board.
Yeah, pretty much the only option he had. But again, like, very not dense minions, not dense cards in his hand right now. The Abusive Sergeant, while it did help him clear the Ragnaros, the body is just very weak, and it'll just get hellfired.
Era running out of options here.
Running out of options indeed, and he's down to 4 HP, which happens just to be the exact attack of the Twilight Drake right now.
Yeah, so does he farce here and... What? Doom card? It's a really tough turn.
Yeah, I actually can't see Era's cards right now, so it does sound like a pretty decent play, though.
Oh, he's gonna play Doomguard and hope not to discard the Abusive Sergeant, perhaps. That might be his only play.
Yeah, if he's not able to clear the Twilight Drake, then he's just dead in the water.
Yeah.
But if he expends his whole hand to try to clear this Twilight Drake,
Here he
then
comes with
he's
a
probably
Doomguard, it seems like. Monk, the moment of truth. And the Abusive Sergeant survives. So does
Yeah,
Era
pretty
with
good.
that. Yeah.
like even though he gets that off, like he's still pretty much dead to almost anything, to be honest.
Yeah. It's a little bit unfortunate. And he can't even tap at 2 HP, so... Siphon Soul pretty much to seal the deal. No matter what he draws, I think he's dead. Maybe a second BGH keeps him alive for another turn, but it's not the case. And Era is gonna have to forfeit this first game. RDU goes up 1-0.
1-0 indeed. So we know that RDU can't use Handlock right now because he won a game with it. And that's probably a relief to RDU based on the last match that we had where Teray just got swept using his Handlock deck. Teray lost 0-4 with it. So RDU maybe breathing a sigh of relief saying that, okay, maybe my quote-unquote weakest deck is out. I'm not sure what RDU's thought process is right now.
Yeah. So we are getting ready to go into game 2. In between series, we'll try to figure out if we can share screen. Right now, we're getting in players to go. Go. Era turned off his camera, by the way. He was getting nervous. I'm sorry I keep pausing when I talk, by the way, but I can hear myself, so it's really hard to talk over myself and think what I was saying when I hear myself saying what I was just saying. It's insane.
You know what, cats? All you have to do is concentrate on my voice, and you'll be guided towards the light.
I'm liking it. Okay, we're entering game 2 right now between Era and RDU.
It's going to be the rogue. Era, he doesn't decide to switch. Just following Teray's line of thought. I guess if you lose the first match, like you're determined to actually win a game with this deck. And we see RDU with Rogue versus the Demon Lock of Era right now. I think before the Gadget Stand was nerfed, the typically a Handlock would be favored against this type of deck, but these are new variations of Rogue and Warlock that we haven't really seen much. In fact, I believe this might be the first time we've ever seen like this new age Rogue face off against Demon Lock.
That is true. And you know, this is a little bit of a gamble with the format because you decide either to switch or not as the losing player, and there's advantages and disadvantages to both, right? If you decide to switch, then you're giving more information to your opponent. He knows what deck to expect later on. You're basically showing your second deck for free. But if you don't switch, then you open yourself to the possibility that your opponent might just counter the deck that you have right now. So a little bit of a gamble on both ends, right?
Yeah, definitely. That's a very good point, actually. I hadn't thought about that. But yeah.
I feel like if
Doesn't
you
look
don't
too
switch, like
great.
if you don't switch the first game though, and you're down 0-2, it's kind of like pointless to switch later on, right? Because your line of thought should be okay. This game will eventually win.
I think the one of the flaws of this format is that it's possible to just get swept, and when you get swept, it's like it's not really great for the audience to watch because it's kind of depressing to see one deck just get thrashed over and over again.
Yeah, but then again, you could switch off of that deck, and you know what your opponent's classes are, so you know maybe towards the end, if you're down 0-3 or something like that, you just pick the deck that counters the class to try and get back. Like the last class of your opponent.
I'm actually not able to see Era's hand right now because it shows that he's still offline for me. So I'm kind of casting this slightly blind.
Okay. Well, Mr. Spider's gonna trade off well here. You can talk more about RDU's hand then, perhaps. I'll try to.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's no AoE for RDU, but otherwise, he's doing pretty good.
Yeah. A Blade Flurry would have probably been his ideal card to have there. Era draws into a Mortal Coil. We'll see if he uses it to clear the Blood Mage Thalnos, perhaps. Deciding to go
perfect.
with draw first. Well, that's gonna be a good draw for him. a second Mortal Coil. Just gonna allow him to kill the bold SI7 agent. Like, what's up with that name? Is that a World of Warcraft
Size 7 agent. Yeah, it's like I'm not familiar with WoW, but like it was like one of the it's like a unit in WoW, I guess.
What does SI stand for?
I don't know.
Secret
Good
Intelligence?
question. It sounds about
They're
right.
like
It
CA.
seems like a
Okay,
guy
that
that
makes-
would
yeah.
be a spy, right?
Secret agent. So he's a secret agent, essentially.
Now we see this Mistress of Pain once again, but we haven't really seen the power of Mistress of Pain yet.
We haven't
Like,
seen
it's
any
been-
cards that even synergize that well with it yet in our
Exactly.
side
I
of
mean,
things.
maybe there's a Dark Iron Dwarf and Abusive Sergeant, but still, it's not that good. I feel like the strength of Mistress of Pain is against aggressive decks, though, and neither the Rogue nor the Handlock that RDU has played fits into either of those categories.
Yeah. Finally revealing the Shade of Naxxramas. Big Game Hunter and Shadow Flame on hand might be his choice. Well, he still has a Mortal Coil, so he can just leave the bombs up or even clear them out with a Mistress of Pain. So, yeah, I think he's gonna go for the Mortal Coil and the Shade of Naxxramas. So he's gonna do that first. Always make sure to draw first,
Yeah.
kids, at home.
Good Hearthstone tips. 101.
10 out of 10. And now the BGH, which he was probably going to play almost no matter
I-
what
I
the
feel
draw
like-
was.
Yeah, I feel like you trade into a bomb first because you really don't want the BGH to get hit by a bomb. You're
Excellent.
okay if the Mistress gets hit by it, and you're kind of okay with taking 4 to the face, but having your BGH die to a Boombot bomb is kind of one of the worst feelings in Hearthstone.
I mean, we'll still probably see it die, but might at least... Oh yeah, wow. Fan of Knives, a great draw here. Will he use it? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, unfortunately, the fan is going to activate the Nubian Egg, but you're not really that scared of a 4/4 from this kind of Demon Lock right now.
Yeah,
Especially if
and
the
Hand of
Boombot
RDU.
can kill it. Nope.
The Hand of RDU is getting scary there. With 2 saps. That's insane, dude. When your minions are that costly, it's pretty scary. We're most likely gonna see Lothep here, it seems like. It is a Lothep. Just standard trades and trying to keep his board. Oh, what? I thought he was gonna trade there for sure. I suppose he doesn't feel the need just because he played Lothep, so spell power a little bit less relevant. But I'm still not sure why he wouldn't trade there. Why Monk?
Yeah. I would have to be able to see Ara's hand to be able to answer that
He has
question.
a Shadow
but
Flame, Lord Jaraxxus, Iron Beak Owl, and Sylvanas.
I feel like the answer is probably in the Shadow Flame. He feels like no matter what, because he's forced his opponent with the Lothep to play minions on the next turn, he'll be able to get some Shadow Flame value the next turn, so he can afford to leave the Azure Drake alive.
And that's probably why RDU answered with a Lothep of its own.
Yeah, just countering Lothep with Lothep. I feel like we're back in the old Naxxramas days once again.
Yeah. Shadow Flame, still a possibility here. Or even just playing the Void Walker, perhaps. And trading Lothep per Lothep.
Yeah, fair enough. It's unfortunate that you can't deal with this Azure Drake that effectively, and it's kind of like that last play that Ara made, kind of haunting him right now.
A little bit too greedy there. Taps. Abusive Sergeant. He might just go face. Or is he going to clear the Lothep with the... Yeah, I guess he's going to clear the Lothep here.
Okay, yeah, getting some value out of the Abusive Sergeant.
Okay. So actually ends up attacking the Azure Drake as well.
Yeah, unfortunately,
protect the
RDU
Sylvanas.
does have some pretty good AoE in the form of Fan of Knives, and he even has the Eviscerate to follow up, so this Demon Lock not getting the value out at all. All of its threats are being answered perfectly by the rogue.
Yeah. Bio teacher coming down. Does he just Jiraxis here? This is a really awkward turn for him. He has Jiraxis, Shadowflame, Owl, Doomguard, and Voidwalker.
Yeah. I feel like the problem with Jiraxis is that one of the strengths of the Demon Lock against the Rogue is that it has a lot of heals with the various healing mechanics of Earthering Farseer, perhaps Anti-Keal Bot, and Mistress of Pain. And if you just Jiraxis, you like kind of give up that advantage. You put yourself down to 15 HP, and you're more vulnerable to being bursted down. Wow.
Yeah.
Doomguard comes down, and unfortunately, he discards that Jiraxis.
Is that unfortunate, though? I
mean,
would
like,
think
he
you would
doesn't-
want to discard the Jiraxis over Shadowflame, perhaps. Even though, you know, the Rogue doesn't play all that many minions. Like you said, Jiraxis pretty much puts you in death range over Rogue, right?
Yeah. Yes. Sap putting the Doomguard back in the hand of Era, which unfortunately he can't cast right away or he'll give up a card. So yeah, Sap pretty good value in this situation.
Oh my god, another Doomguard. Does he not want to play the Mistress of Pain here before the Doomguard?
Just so many bad options all around, and we're beginning to see the weaknesses of Demon Lock.
Yeah.
Like, if you can't get the Void Caller out early in the game and to bring out a Doomguard, I feel like this deck is just fairly weak. And also, like, with this many demons in the deck, Void Caller into, like, any random demon doesn't feel particularly strong. Like, most Demon Lock decks that I've seen are built around the Void Callers plus just either Doomguards, Floating Watchers, or Jiraxis plus Morganis. I haven't seen a lot of decks that run both the Void Caller and the Void Walker and the Mistress of Pain. Because bringing out any of those low-value demons with the Void Caller just doesn't feel really good.
Yeah, I mean, there's something to be said about that too, because those minions cost 1 and 2, so you can usually, you know, just drop them on the board before the Void Caller. So it's not the worst thing.
Yep. Again, with all the low mana minions, the Void Walker, the Mistress of Pain, the Nubian Egg, and the Haunted Creeper, this feels more like an anti-aggro deck. And Era's just running into all these decks that aren't aggro. You see, Handlock, definitely not aggro. And Rogue, I would say it's more of a combo deck and not an aggro deck. So I think Era is just running into bad matchups over and over. And it's one of the weaknesses of running a very specific type of deck that aims to counter specific types of other decks in a format like Conquest.
Yeah, and not getting very lucky with the draws either. Hardly any place. Has to power overwhelming into Shadowflame to kill a 3/3 minion on board. That's gonna be a bit depressing.
Yeah. I bet Era is kind of wishing that he had the Jiraxis right now. He's down on 11 HP. And he is like, again, he just seems has no way to come back.
Yeah, and is this it? It looks like that's it. Yeah. Eviscerate. Mr.
Haha.
South Deck. No, South
Haha.
Sea Deckhand. Haha. Indeed. And McFlurry to finish things off. So RDU is going to take a 2-0 lead over Era. And it shouldn't be too long before we can jump into the next game. Crap, I keep having to pause to hear what I just said. This is so hard. You have to protect me with your voice, Monk.
Yeah, exactly. I have to talk a bit more. So, like, Era is down 0-2 right now. Definitely not a position he wants to be in. And I think he might be following the way of Teray in that he has kind of a weak deck against everything that RDU has brought. So this might potentially just be a sweep once again.
It's possible. And we're getting ready to go into game 3 right away.
Game 3, I think RDU still has the Druid and Mage left. And I feel like the definitive choice is the Druid because, as again, this RDU can probably make the assumption from all the cards that he's seen that this Warlock deck is indeed an anti-aggro deck. So you probably don't want to run like the mech mage into that deck, and you're more comfortable with the druid just because even though the demon lock has ways to starve off the early aggression, it doesn't really have a good way with dealing with combo damage in the form of Force of Nature, Savage Roar.
Yeah, definitely. So excellent point there, and as you said, RDU will bring out his druid. Lord Jaraxxus gets drawn. Are you able to spectate both players here? Monk?
Oh, I'm trying. I think
Just message her invite or something if he hasn't.
I can ease your pain.
Did it work?
I must save
all right. So we look at RDU's hand. Just a lot of good threats. He has the keeper, exactly what he needs against the Nubian egg, and he has a lot of solid drops to follow up.
Yeah. Era should have accepted you if he didn't before.
All right. Now I'm able to see Era's hand finally.
Easy.
I can ease your
Yeah,
pain.
pretty easy. This is funny. Like, there's two Mistresses of Pain on the field, but and they're like they keep getting health.
It's like the Nerubian
for
egg
the
is some
Warlock
sort of
player.
like pimp, right? And he's silenced as well.
I know. I wasn't gonna go there, but yes, I guess that was what I was thinking.
Yeah. I mean,
He's
nothing else
pimping
came
out
to
the
mind.
Mistresses of Pain.
Defender of Argus. Now that's a pimp. Like his name is Defender of Argus. Goes right in the middle of both Mistresses of Pain. And makes them pay. Now Defender
Makes
of
them
Argus
pay
is the
indeed.
true pimp. The two
Yeah,
people
he's
piloting
actually
the
just
stuff. Go on.
he's like kind of trying to shield the Mistresses of Pain like a true
That's
pimp,
his
right?
job, I mean. So he failed at protecting one of the Mistresses of Pain. Actually endangered the Mistresses of Pain by giving them taunt, so is he that good a pimp? No, I'm questioning him. Double guessing myself. Maybe he's the worst pimp in history.
Oh, Chugga Chugga is a pretty good draw, and
Excellent.
RDU even has the second Keeper of the Grove to deal
Damn.
with the Sylvanas.
Yeah, RDU's drawing
Yeah.
like a god. Oh wow.
Oh my god, Dunmal Shaman. That's actually amazing. It's
Ooh.
one of the best 4-drops you could get, simply
Yeah.
because it kind of it usually has a drawback when you summon it with the
Yeah, the
overload.
overload.
So it's kind of like a 5-drop almost.
Yeah, pretty much. So pretty insane. And if there's no way to get rid of it, that's 10 damage all by himself. Now that guy, I'm not sure if he fits in the Paladin Sky Golem. Like he seems pretty big, you know.
Yeah, exactly. But as you said, like the Sky Golem does seem pretty big as well.
That is true. Lothab getting played. Not sure. I may have even considered the Doomguard. Oh wow, what?
Yeah, the Dunmal Shaman misses, and
Oh,
it
no.
runs into the Lothab, unfortunately. So he just basically, because of a 50-50 chance, RDU got 5 less damage in. It's fine, though.
Poor silly man.
I think he's still, like, fairly happy about it.
Yeah, probably.
And RDU is just even threatening lethal right now. If you draw Savage Roar, that's certain lethal.
Yeah, no way to play around that for Era. So he's just gonna have to try to fill the board as much as he can.
Oh, man. Lothab. I think that almost seals the game right now, because Arrow won't be able to clear this board at all without the ability to probably Shadow Flame this turn.
Yeah. Yeah, he's in a really tough spot. I mean, does he even play Jaraxxus here? There's nothing he can do really, right?
Yeah. One thing you can do is try to get a Doom Guard
Oh.
off of the
Cute play.
Oh, Pilot
wow.
Shredder.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a creative play,
Yeah.
and it uses up a lot of resources. But
I mean, it's his.
Was
I
it-
think it was the best play, right?
I think this is still game over.
Oh God!
House Master.
Millhouse
It-
Mana Storm.
Yeah. Unfortunately, like even if he got like the worst card in the world, like Lord Walker Cho or something, he still would have won just because there's so much damage.
Yeah. And unfortunately for Era, he goes down 0-3 thus far in the series. One deck left for RDU to try and seal the deal here.
Yeah, I just want to remind everyone that Era does have the choice to switch decks if he wants to, but he's making the conscious decision to keep the same Demon Lock deck every single game. And I think, to the credit of Era, I think he at least won't get 4-0'd like Teray did, just because the last deck of RDU is probably Mech Mage, and Era's Demon Lock seems like a pretty good counter against Mech Mage.
Yeah, like you said, not the best matchups perhaps for this. Looks like anti-aggro demon.
Yeah, the strategy in Conquest mode, as we're seeing more and more of it, is maybe just to run decks that are more well-rounded. So like kind of like more ladder decks, just so you don't run into a situation where you get into an auto loss, you get into auto losses, an auto loss situation every single time.
Yeah. I don't think counter decks are necessarily bad, but maybe not having as many and being willing to switch and perhaps even start with one of the better, most well-rounded decks might be one of the better strategies.
Yeah. Unfortunately for Era, RDU has the
Oh, wow.
kind of like a god start
Yeah,
with
that's
double
yeah.
Mech Warper.
Wow.
He's
That's
going to be
never-
able
yeah,
to
wow.
play out his entire hand almost.
That is disgusting. I mean, that's that's the dream, right? Do you just forfeit here? Is that what you do? Is that the play?
I mean, there's still opportunities to come back. You do have the Shadow Flame right now, and you do have the Void Caller. So actually, I think Era is actually not in a bad position right now.
Yeah. He is potentially going to take a lot of damage here, though. But yeah, the Void Caller is going to be pretty scary. He would obviously like that Doom Guard down on the board.
Yeah, Doom Guard would be nice. A second Void Caller would also be nice, just not the Mistress of Pain. Just again, because it's just a low value minion.
Yeah. Looks like he's going to get to Shadow Flame his own Void Caller here on the board.
Yeah.
That's going to leave
Again,
two minions
hopefully,
up.
hopefully the Doom Guard comes out and he's able to clear the Goblin Blast Mage as well. Another Doom Void Caller, not bad. Certainly could have been better, but certainly could have been worse.
Yeah, so this makes it so that he takes a little bit more damage. That also gives
No,
him a little bit better of a board. Oh, but he will get frostbolted.
Yeah, I
That's
think
rough.
getting Frostbolted and not pinging it is probably a good decision. Just like
Yeah.
to freeze it, basically. So the Void Caller can't do much damage.
Or suicide. Oh no. You don't want to silence
Owl, Owl can unfreeze the Void Caller, but then you effectively silence it, which is pretty bad.
that. Will he go for it? It looks like that's the play anyway. I mean, I don't mind that play. He's pretty low on HP. Really needed to get rid of that. Can't take 5 more damage is the decision that he makes there. And Abusive Sergeant is going to be nice on the Mistress of Pain, at the very least.
Yeah, now this actually feels like, at this point, it feels like Zoo versus a Mech Mage right now, just judging from the cards.
He
And
can't attack
in
the
hand right now.
Mad Scientist, though. Oh, okay. Place
Yeah,
the
you can't.
guard first.
Yeah,
Now
that's
you can
fine.
clear it.
Like, if you just look at the cards on the field right now, you have like an Abusive Sergeant, an Owl, and a Doom Guard. Those are all cards that you would typically see in Zoo, so it's pretty funny.
Yeah. Not the Mistress of Pain, though.
Not the Mistress of Pain, yeah. And the Mistress of Pain might actually become the MVP of this match, just healing for that damage every single turn. That
Yeah,
might be
Rolling
funny.
Blades is nice to have as well. Oh, this is a great draw for him. Oh, not that great, I guess. He still dies to ping the Doom Guard.
Well, Era is actually considering using the Whirling Blades instead of Earthring Farseer. I find that an interesting move.
I wonder.
I think it's correct. I mean, do you want to give him a 3/3 minion on board? Not really, right? So, this
Yeah,
is...
and he's able to heal 2 more damage.
Yeah, exactly. Because like the 3 damage that you heal, you're not really doing much with. Because you give him a 3 minion.
Yeah,
But the
now
missions
RDU just decides that he has to frostbolt this minion because he's just too afraid of. It kind of is acting like an armor smith at this point, except it's even better. It's just gaining armor / health each and every turn.
Yeah. And Nora is just gonna choose to play the Farseer here by the looks of it.
I think if he plays the Farseer, he also should play
Oh,
the
wow.
Big Game Hunter. But no,
Oh,
nothing
he
is
couldn't.
played.
He couldn't. Oh, yeah. Could he?
Yeah,
How did
he had
get
6
the
mana.
Oh, did he? Okay. Hello.
You know,
Hello.
It's a good impression,
Hello.
Cats. I gotta
Thank
get
you.
that to you.
That's my thing. So yeah.
I really want to interview some of these losing players, as bad as that sounds, about their rationale for not switching decks. I think that'll be pretty interesting. Like, why is Era keeping the same deck? Why did Turi keep the same deck?
Yeah, I'm not sure either. Oh, what a draw.
Yeah, that's a great draw. Iron Beak out lets you
That's
mirror
perfect.
image something really
The
weak,
dream.
which you can then Mortal Coil.
Yeah, that was the dream. That was perfect for him. And Farseers. I mean, if Era has been paying attention, he knows that the last card is, or the last card on RDU's hand was spare part. Now,
Yeah, so that
keeping
means,
that
like-
card though, he has to be concerned of the fireball. What other cards do you keep as a mech mage here? Probably not many.
Yeah, he's also already seen both Frostbolts. So
that's
Era
pretty
can
much
most
it.
likely definitely deduce that it is a Fireball.
Yeah, it's the only card that you would keep in your hand at this point. You could argue maybe what's his name? Antonidas, if there wasn't a spare part, but he knows the other card is a spare part, so.
You know, this deck reminds me a lot of a deck that Colento ran in the Kingwin for Charity tournament, but it doesn't have a lot of the bigger threats in it, such as it didn't have like floating Watchers, and it basically replaced those for Mistresses of Pain, which I feel is really hurting Era in this game.
He's really on a clock. Defender Vargas is a pretty good draw, I guess. Makes it so that he has to be finished with fireballs, or else. Now he's gonna put as much damage on the board as possible to threaten lethal next turn. Perhaps force the fireball onto his board, and whatever else RDU can play. Dr. Boom not
Dr.
gonna be the
Boom?
choice.
Yeah, it's a really good draw, but unfortunately not in this situation because there's just so much damage on the board right now, and RDU has to be thinking,
Oh, what?
oh, he's gonna try to ping one of the boom bots and kill something. That's an interesting move.
That's
Oh,
it's
no.
almost worked.
He doesn't kill the Earthring Farseer, and unfortunately that's game over.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Yeah.
at least Era won a game. This won't
Yeah.
be a 4-0. I'm really happy about that.
Me too. But yeah, Dr. Boom, as you were saying, was a good draw, but it was probably the worst draw. Monk Logic.
Monk Logic.
I like it.
Monk Logic, best logic. Alright, so what decks does Era have other than Warlock? He has Druid, Rogue, and Mage. So actually, I just noticed that both these players are running the exact same classes, except that RDU ran a Handlock and Era ran a Demon Lock. So that was the key difference between these two lineups. And it might have turned out to be a pretty big difference, as we saw that the Warlock actually won the mirror.
Yeah. Pretty big indeed. Now,
All right,
Era
we're
switched
gonna
onto
actually
his-
go into Game 5 right now.
Yeah. And it's gonna be a Rogue coming up. Valera, some call her.
I think that's what most people call her, actually. And I think for the second time in a row in this series, I think Era has a favorable matchup. I think Rogue is generally considered to be pretty good against Mech Mage, especially if you draw Backstab and SI Agent.
Indeed. Those are pretty good draws, some of the best. Blade Flurry, perhaps the dream. Alright, Blade Flurry has to be probably the best card against Mech Mage.
Yeah,
Backstab.
but you need to
Really
combo
close.
it with like with an SI with a deadly poison, and these cards standalone I feel are pretty good. Backstab, SI.
Yeah. He's gonna get to clear the board here if he wishes to do so.
I wonder.
Oh, this is interesting. He's deciding to. It looks like
Giving
he
the
wants to
SI agent.
backstab the. Yeah, that can't be the play. I feel like this is superior. Just backstabbing the, killing off the Snow Chugger first, and then SI agenting, so you don't give your opponent a 3/3.
Yeah. What he's probably thinking is, you know, the only other thing I have is an Assured Drake. If I don't draw into something else to give him, that's what I'm gonna potentially have to end up giving him. So he considers the other option.
Oh, you know what? Like, I think this is actually like kind of a change that secrets resolve before the mad scientist dies, and I think it's actually a bug right now,
Oh, really?
which is why Era got the SI agent.
Yeah. That's weird.
Mhm.
Prep, Eviscerate in hand. Also, Prep Sprint is probably the play here.
No, I have to leave again. My spectator mode is bugged.
I
Okay.
wonder.
Decides really. Okay, decides to sap the Clockwork Gnome and eviscerate the agent. Just
Yeah, sapping a clockwork gnome feels so bad.
yeah. Then again, he's trying to keep the board as controlled as possible to play an Asher Drake next turn. That's what he's gonna go for.
Yeah, Azure Drake unfortunately trades directly into the piloted shredder, but it's all he can
Yeah.
do right now, pretty much.
I mean, the
Double
turn
pre-
was pretty much planned. The turn prior, right? Like, in making that play and clearing the board, he was saying, okay, like, I'm setting up the board for my Asher Drake. Unfortunately, Piloted Shredder was waiting.
Yeah, Era, fortunately for him, he has the double prep, which are two of the best cards they can have right now, just because you really need tempo when you're playing this matchup.
Eyes are open.
All right, great. He got the order correct. He attacked before using SI. So yeah, not too bad right now for Era, even though RDU will be able to regain control of the board this turn.
Something needs tinkering?
Yep, Sprint is gonna have to be the play here. Maybe hoping for a Blade Flurry and something to, you know, make his weapon a little bit bigger.
Oh,
Goblin could do
that's
that.
an interesting one. Goblin Auto Barber. It's not a card that we see a lot in these kind of oil rogues, but I believe Naria is one of the players that runs it pretty well. Blade Flurry. That's pretty key card. If he is able to draw a deadly poison later on, that could swing the game entirely.
Yeah, for now he's gonna have to rely on his home board to clear his opponents.
Yeah, pretty good. And we see like why Rogue can be so dominant here in this matchup. And wow, Dr. Boom Tur 7. Again, that card alone can turn the game around.
It is a pretty powerful card. And do you want to sap it? I don't think so.
I think you're forced to right now. You don't really have many other good plays.
Yeah, but do you want to?
True, good point.
He
Good
has to
point.
assure Drake here first, right? And hope for what? Dr. Boom, man. I hate him.
Yeah, most Hearthstone players do hate him. He's just so strong, and it feels like a lot of the times he alone can decide games.
Blade flurries the board.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Era definitely wasn't hoping for that. He was hoping actually for the bombs to hit face on his board to survive. But right now, it feels like Mech Mage is regaining control of this game just because of the Dr. Boom. That was just way too much of a threat to be dealt with.
Yeah, this is as good as a turn as he could have probably hoped for, though.
Yeah, he uses all his mana, but after this, like he'll still be in a lot of trouble because he'll just be running out of cards every single turn. Whereas the mech mage, has just so high value minions in that one Doctor Boom even, and in the Goblin Blast Mage.
What could Era be hoping for here?
Oh, that's a pretty good one actually. Tinker's Sharp Sword Oil.
Does he just need to go face here?
Yeah, I think that's his only option. Trading doesn't really get you a win. So if he goes for face and he somehow survives the next turn, and he somehow gets his second Blade Fury, he might be able to win.
Yeah.
But then again, with some lucky bombs to face, is it possible for RDU to take this game right now?
No. Very close though. Oh, that's lethal? Yeah, that's exact lethal.
That is lethal. Even he even had the Goblin Blast Mage for 2 more damage. So as long as the boom bots didn't completely dud, then RDU would take that game.
Insane.
So yeah, RDU wins the series 4-1 right now.
Yeah. And for us, that means there's only one match left today. Once again, to everyone watching, I'm sorry about the hiccups earlier. We're still learning as we go. So next day, it should be a lot smoother. But hopefully you guys are still enjoying it. So next match will be probably the most anticipated match of the day. Will be Colento against the best shaman, Gara. Gara best shaman.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty much the best shaman in the world, quote unquote, against what many people say is the best player in the world. We've seen Colento doing really well in pre-GVG. In post-GVG, he was starting to fall off a little bit, and some people were saying it's because he got a girlfriend, and you know how like girls can make your gameplay a little worse. But after people said that, he then showed everyone that he was still among the very best, and he won a tournament in the King Win for Charity tournament. And he was like, hey guys, I'm still here, and I'm still ready to show you guys that indeed I'm still one of the best players in the world.
Yeah. To me, there's Colento, and then there's Strife Crow, and then there's everyone else. That's how I look at it.
A lot of people would put Firebat in that tier as well. Those 3 players are kind of the players you most go to as the best players in the world, and a lot of it has to do with Firebat just being the world championship after all.
Yeah. So we're gonna go to a quick break here. We'll be back in 5 minutes.